Welcome back to the Show Me Your Knits podcast. My name's Mary Grace, and I'm so happy that you're here. It's been a long time since I last sat down to talk to you. I posted on Instagram, but I was working on some wildfires in Idaho for a couple of weeks, and then rather than, I guess, throw it off a week, I thought I'd wait a month, but then now I'm like looking at everything in front of me, and it's very evident that it's been quite a bit since I was here. While I was working on the fires, I didn't have a lot of time to knit, obviously, but I did take one project with me and was able to make a connection with a fellow knitter and crocheter, which was really fun. And it was nice for being on the plains. And I'll talk about that one in a little bit. And then other things life-wise, I guess, the things I'm looking forward to, I have my dad flying in tomorrow, and we will be doing a road trip from Wyoming all the way to Washington. So we'll do Wyoming, Utah, Idaho, clip the very edge of Oregon, and then spend a long weekend, the Labor Day weekend, in Washington. Wow. And then on the way back, we'll hit up Montana and have some family time with my boyfriend's family, and then head back to Wyoming. So it's going to be a great week, and I have that upcoming. So sort of the framing for today is like everything I've worked on for a month, and also what I'm looking forward to working on in the next couple weeks with some long road trips and just sort of like some relaxed, peaceful time, which will be great. So I've gotten back into the swing of things with my day job after being gone for a little bit, and then but really looking forward to settling back into a routine here as we enter the fall. So let's talk fall knits, let's talk end of summer knits, let's talk long-term whips that are finally done. A lot of great stuff today. So starting off with what I'm wearing, it's quite long. This is a project that if you have followed my Instagram, you will know about. This one I think the pattern is called Fair Isle Sweater in neutral tones, something like that. And the yarn is from Jameson of Shetland. And this project came to me about, I have to tuck it because my torso is so small, but it came to me about this much done, maybe a little bit more. And there was a woman that had been knitting on it that was based in Idaho. She had bought the yarn back in the 90s, worked on the project after it, like, kind of weaving in and out of her life. I'm not quite sure the backstory before it came to me, but basically my friend that used to work at a yarn shop here in Laramie ended up with it after it had gone from person one to person two to my friend at the yarn store. And it had just been like too complicated for the original folks. And then the friend of mine that was working on it, it wasn't a project that she wanted to do, I guess. And so she asked if I wanted it, and I said yes. And this was like my first color work garment because I'm a crazy person. But it was a really cool project. It took, I guess, like looking at the receipts, it took almost 30 years from when it was purchased to when it was finished. And I think it was really special to be a part of that. And I'm wearing it today because there's like the crisp of fall in the air, but also I never wear it. It's a little bit scratchy. It's like the really like nice traditional Shetland wool. And it's just like, I'm such a close to the skin knitter, like straight on skin knitter. And I, need to find more ways to style this because I put a ton of work into it. I will say it was supposed to initially be like a whole long sleeve sweater, but this color, this like lighter, or no, this light brown, I was going to run out of. And obviously since the yarn was bought 3 decades ago, I didn't want to, try and find a match for it or anything like that. And so I decided just to convert it to a vest. I made the cap sleeves match the collar. Obviously there's no like shoulder shaping because it wasn't until I started the sleeve that I realized I wouldn't be able to make the sleeve. And this yarn is so sticky that I thought that unwinding or like ripping it back would be horrible. And I should also say I took like a 2-year pause on this. And that's like the idea of ripping it out makes me feel like I'll never finish it. And so I converted it to a vest. But it's really special to be able to have it. And I would like to wear it more as we enter the fall season. I know it's still August when I'm recording this and when you're watching this. But in Wyoming, the fall and winter come quick. So trying to show myself that I can wear it just with like a little casual jean outfit and a t-shirt. I think this is actually like a band t-shirt under here. And it doesn't have to be that serious, even though it's like a very serious feeling knit compared to the fun and colorful stuff I'm going to show you here in a minute. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I'm wearing. A very fun piece, and I'm super happy to have it. I've really rambled on about it for quite some time. So let's move on. So moving into finished objects, the first one I want to talk about is the test knit I spoke about in the last episode. Basically, as soon as I recorded that, I realized that there was the potential that I was going to go work on fires, and I was like, I need to finish this test knit so quickly because I'm going to miss like a week and a half of the testing period, and not be able to take pictures and all that stuff. And so I very quickly worked up this amazing Sadie top. This is a really fun pattern by Woozy by Celine and Beautiful Knitters. I'll throw in a picture because it's like very hard to to show what this actually looks like because it's just so drapey and oversized. A few things that I loved about this pattern. One, this isn't about the pattern, but about the yarn. I knit it up in the Hobby Diablo Stormy Seas, which is like a synthetic mohair. There's a little bit of mohair in it, but there's it's mostly like acrylic, plasticky type stuff. And I was a little bit nervous, but I bought so much of this yarn, like 6 skeins to make this, 5 or 6 skeins, and then only used under 3, which was awesome price wise, because it would have been like a $12 project or less. It's super affordable yarn, and it's really soft. Like I was a little bit nervous about the plasticky feel of it, especially when I was knitting. I could kind of feel it, but like wearing it, I do not feel it at all. I don't know if you guys can see all the dog hair or hear the dogs running around in the hallway, but yeah, it was a real pleasure to knit up. This is the color Stormy Seas. I know in the past I said that I wish that it was like a little bit more teal, maybe like a petroleum green by Knitting for Olive, like that kind of color is what I thought this would be comparable to. And it leans a little bit bluer, but I do really, really love it. And so I guess other things about the pattern that I really like, actually the pattern now, let's see the best way to show this. I really love the shoulder shaping. Oh my god, this is gonna be so hard to show. The shoulder shaping, sort of a line here and it comes out. I'm so bad at like knitting terminology stuff, but I really, really loved making that shoulder shaping. It allowed for like a beautiful raglan down into the sleeves, but like kind of got it off your shoulders to start. I had never done a non-rolling stockinette hem before, or yeah, non-rolling stockinette hem. That was really fun to learn, and I quite like how that looks. The sleeves have like just a little bit of a bill, and yeah, it was really nice to be able to work on this and test it out. And it's a really nice piece to have. It's like the perfect transitional piece of like, I still want to wear summer dresses that are like maybe a little bit strappy, and then toss this over, and then it's like nice for the cool summer nights because it is quite warm despite being quite open. So I think that's all I want to say about this one. I did knit it up in a size 2X, which has like the perfect amount of drape. I knit it a little bit shorter than the pattern recommended, and I know a lot of the other like plus size testers were saying that they plan to knit it a little bit shorter just for like it's oversized, but it's not like, probably wouldn't have made it past my hips if I would have knit it like a longer length. And the pictures that Celine had posted when we were testing it had it like about to her, like just below her belly button, I think. And so I knit it to that on me, which was shorter than how the pattern had been graded. So that was some feedback, I think, from several of the testers, but it's like really easy to modify. Like for the sleeves too, I kind of have shorter arms, I think, and it I was able to just keep knitting past, like I did all the increases, but I didn't knit for like 3 inches past that you were supposed to, because I ended it like about here when I think maybe the pattern calls for about here. So super easy modifications to make, and I really, really like that pattern, and it was a joy to test it, and worked with some really great folks in the test group, and it was just an awesome experience. I know that folks that have tested for, this is Celine's second pattern, and folks that have tested for her only have like positive things to say. So moving on to the next one is my Tolsta. This is the last of my summer of Tolstas, I think. This is the third one I knit this summer. This one I thought would be my true to size one, and as it turns out, knitting it in the recommended needles put me over gauge, so it's just a little bit big, and you can kind of tell when I'm wearing it. There's like a little bit of bunching here, but that's like, you know, I knew that it was over gauge and I kept knitting it, so I don't mind that it's like a skosh oversized. This is Drop Spelled Dandelion. I knit a size 5, which has been my consistent size for all of my variable fitting Tolstas. The pattern is by Rebecca Clow, the Kriya here on YouTube and also on Instagram. Her patterns are great. And yeah, you guys have heard me talk in every episode about a Tolsta. I don't have a ton else to say about this one. I do love this yarn though, super affordable, super soft. And I really enjoyed knitting this up. And then I think I'm probably done with Tolstas for the year, but it was great. A great experience. I really love the stitch definition on this one. And yeah, it's made a great perfect tee. That'll be great for football season and sort of like cooler weather, or I guess warmer weather fall days, which we have quite a few of here. Like the days will be warm and the nights will be cold. And so I'm excited to have this one to wear. Kind of breezed through that one, but like I said, you guys have heard me talk about it a ton. And then the last knitted finished object, which I was so stoked to make and also is so covered in dog hair, is my May camisole. This pattern is by Kriya Studios. So I have Kriya and Kriya. But it's coming through a little bit gray. It's like a very true black. But this is knit up in Knitting for Olive pure silk held double. I had seen some reviews of the yarn online or just other podcasters talking about how this yarn will stretch over time. And so I knit this up in like 2 sizes less than what was recommended for my bust size, and it fits perfectly. So I don't know, I'm still kind of, I really like resonate with the stuff that Casey over at Young Folk Knits has said about like the full bust to upper bust differential and like learning how to knit for that. I really like resonate with that as I try and find the right sizing for me. Oh, you guys maybe could see the deodorant stains on here, deodorant marks. But yeah, so I knit it based on, like, I just knit an extra large, like, sized down anyway, because I thought that the yarn would stretch, and it fits perfectly now, so it will likely end up stretching and be, like, a nice oversized fit over time. Not oversized, but just, like, less, or I guess more positive ease. It's got like 0 ease right now, which is really nice. And I did knit this totally to pattern, like length appropriate and everything. I didn't make any modifications. I really love this detailing along, I guess, where you like pick up for the bands. I really loved it. This was like really tiny needles I had to buy. What size? 2 1/4. They're on another project, on a work in progress. What size are these? Oh, it's on the other needle, but I think they're like 2.25 millimeter needles with like a 16-inch cable. So like magic loop sock needles. And I had used that for this ribbing, which I thought was like miserable for a little bit, but they were the Chalgu metal needles, and it was actually like very easy to do. It was just like tiny yarn, or tiny needles. But I really love the finished look. I think since this will stretch out over time, I'm going to end up needing to put some elastic in the armholes. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to say about this one. No, that's it. That's my May camisole. I'm excited to wear this one. It feels like very polished and very put together. And it'll be a great basic for my wardrobe. I do have a little bit of trouble separating the front from the back, but I'm going to put a tag in eventually. I'm pretty sure this is the back facing view, and then the front is like ever so slightly narrower. Also, I can definitely see this was like in my suitcase. I just pulled it out. I can see like the creasing that happens to this yarn. I know that's something that other folks have talked about. Doesn't really bother me. Especially when you like consider the drape. Like this is just like a perfect yarn and perfect summer garment. So excited to wear that one as much as I can between now and when it gets cold, and then also maybe do some like layering with sweaters and stuff to extend the season for it. And so that was my last knitting finished object. My next one is a sewing finished object, which is also kind of an acquisition. I bought this yarn, or this, not yarn. I bought this fabric from Maker's Resale on Instagram, which is like a secondhand auction. Instagram, or I guess not auction, but like they post something that someone has submitted to them, you comment, and then they randomly draw one of the commenters to get the piece. And so I got this awesome linen and viscose blend, and I decided, we went to some concerts last weekend, and I decided I was desperately in need of I just needed a skirt. I hated everything that I had. It was going to be like 95 degrees. And I was like, you know what I want? Is a skirt. So out of this fabric, I made like a tie, like a bandana top, just a triangle. I don't have that here because it's just a triangle. It's nothing special, but I'll put in a picture. I made that. I made some little hair ties, like hair ribbons. And then I made this skirt. And so it was fun. Like everything we did over the weekend, I had like a little piece of this fabric in it, which felt very fun and like made me excited to get dressed. But yeah, this skirt is like I followed a YouTube tutorial for making a midi skirt, and then it was like not exactly the perfect midi length. Buying the secondhand, I obviously like only end up with some, like it's a fixed amount of fabric that I got, and I probably could have made it a little bit longer, but yeah, it fits me like just below the knees. And what I did, if you can see like the ruffle in it, yeah, right here, and sort of the uneven hem, it's kind of like asymmetrical. It kind of fits more like that on the body. I don't know. I'll put in a picture because it's a little hard to hold up. But I like started making a midi, and then I was like, oh no, I'm gonna make it a mini skirt. Like, be brave, Mary Grace. And then cut it off into a mini, and I was like, oh, I like mucked this up so bad. I don't know how to fix it. And then so I immediately sewed back on everything that I had just cut off, but in like the reverse, like I flipped it so that it was like mismatched and made a ruffle, and ended up making it asymmetrical. And even though it was like not well planned, and I was just like being a little bit chaotic when I made it because I was frantically trying to find an outfit for that night, I loved it. It's great. It's one of my favorite pieces. It's like so cool to make something that fits my hips and my waist perfectly, because I was like cutting it based on the recommendation, or cut the fabric based on like the math and recommendations from the YouTube tutorial I was following. And then when I tried it on, I was like, this is like not, this is not gonna fit me, because it's so big in the waist. And so it's fun and very special to be able to make like perfect things for yourself. It's also the very first zipper I installed. Part of the YouTube tutorial differential was that it was supposed to have an elastic waist, and so I'm sure that that was part of the reason that it was bigger and it was supposed to like gather. But I still think even with elastic, it was like 4 inches too big for my waist, was not going to look great. But yeah, I did my first zipper. It was quite an experience. It was an awesome learning curve. I already had the zipper, so I was feeling brave, and it works, and it's amazing. And I'm so stoked. And it was, yeah, like I said, really fun to have like a little bit of this fabric in everything that I wore over the weekend. And I just thought it was like really special. So that is all of my finished objects. So up next is my whips, and as I teased in my intro, one of them is a long-term work in progress that is finally so close to being done. So I am so happy to report that my hällevik skirt just needs the I-cord edging and the tie. So I've already done the tie for one side, and then I'll just go all the way across, make a little eyelet or like a hole right here to thread it through, come all the way across here, and then add this much on as a tie so that it will like wrap all the way around my body. But hopefully, I'm probably jinxing myself, but hopefully by the time this is posted and edited, this will be done and I'll be able to put a finished project in here. But at the point of recording, it is still a whip. So this is the hällevik skirt by Wool and Beyond. Wool and Beyond? Yeah. A free pattern. I knitted up in Sandus Garnlina in blue hortensia and white. Ugh, I have fuzz in my mouth. Dog hair, I'll be honest. And I've been working on this for such a long time. I was like really burnt out on it, and then I realized that I was like very close to being done. It's like 16 inches long, and when I got back from my fire assignment, I like powered through. I was like, you know what, if I want to wear this summer, I need to keep going. So I knit probably like, God, that doesn't look like that much on camera, but it took so long. Knit like the bottom probably like 4 or 5 inches over the last week and a half or so. And this project has been on the needles for months, so this is very exciting. And I've tried it on. If it's great, I think, like I talked about with the skirt that I made, the sewn skirt, it's gonna have like, the waist is gonna be too big. I picked the proper hip size for me, and so I just think that it's gonna be a little bit, it's gonna be like require some cinching around the waist, and so I'm hoping that the fit is still okay and it doesn't do anything wonky. But yeah, it's nice. I just have to like finish the I-cord and weave in the ends, and then you just like spray it with a spray bottle. You don't fully block it or anything. And it's cotton, so I imagine it'll like grow. It's a cotton blend, but I imagine it'll grow with the weight and get a little bit longer as I wear it. But I'm excited. I want to wear this to the farmer's market this afternoon, which is hopefully what the pictures will be from. I feel like I'm really jinxing myself. Like I'm not going to have time to do this. But yeah, I would love to be able to get this done and wear it soon. But regardless, in the next couple days, this will be wrapped up, which is awesome. Needles. Yeah, so that's the hällevik skirt. My next work in progress is the one that you may have seen a glimpse of when I was looking at needles. These are the scrimshaw socks by, the pattern is from the book, the Sock Project, the Summerly Knits book. And they have this really awesome color work pattern on them. This is my very first time doing magic loop. I don't really know if you're supposed to do 2 socks at once, if that's like a normal thing. Obviously, if you look at the edge, there's like some tensioning that I hope blocking fixes, like some tensioning issues I hope that blocking fixes. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna try something. And if this works, great. And if it doesn't, I'm fine having socks with like a little bit of wonkiness on the edges. But I'm knitting this up in a sock set. Oh, that blue is coming through so well on camera. That's beautiful. And this is some Wyoming local yarn. I bought this at Sweet Mountain Yarn in Cody. It is 100% Cormo Wyoming sock set. The color pairing is called Snow Crystal. So the yarn is milled in Buffalo, Wyoming, and hand dyed in Cody by, I can't remember what the yarn store was called. Sweet Mountain Yarn, I think, is the dyeing company, but the yarn store there, I'll put the name in, is also owned by the same person that does the dyeing, but they're not the same name. So yeah, this was really an awesome find. This has been really fun. This is what I took on the fire with me. It was like very nice for the plane, and like on the hotel rooms traveling back and stuff. I knit like all of the color work before I even got there, like on the plane. And then over the course of the 2 weeks I was there, I knit this much of the actual sock. So, and I think I've done like 1 or 2 rounds since I got back. So this will be a fun project, probably going to be a road trip knit. I'm excited to do like the heel turn and gusset on these scary long needles. It'll be a fun experience, but yeah, this will probably be one that I take with me. So I think that's all I want to say about that. This is my, first time knitting with Cormo too. And it's knitting up so soft, like the, can really see the plying in it. And so I thought that maybe that would be, frustrating to knit with or something, but it hasn't been. It knits like so well. And it's really beautiful. And I'm super excited about the finished product. It is a little bit like low contrast in spots just because of the like variation in the tonal and the like flex in the white, but it doesn't bother me. I think it's really fun. The pattern called, like the sample knit of that was solid white and solid blue, which I think would be beautiful, but I'm excited to be able to do it with something I already had in stash. And yeah, speaking of low contrast, my next project is one I've been very excited to cast on for a super long time. It is my autumn alpine sweater. Oh, I dropped some stitches. This project has been all over the last couple days. Going to my friend's studio to cut fabric for a sewing project. It's like shoved in a basket. So plus I'm on like kind of too short of needles, but I just like, it was either like too short or way too long. And so I went with too short for now. But yeah, this is the Autumn Alpine sweater. And when I say low contrast, it's just because, oh man, on camera. Okay, I think that I'm like blind to the pattern in person, but the like blues and greens in here are just not quite super high contrast from the like base color, the main color. And so I was a little bit worried about it. The greens definitely stand out quite a bit, like this green and this blue, or wow, this green and this bluer green. There's definitely some spots in the yarn that I will have to do some color management. Like this is almost exactly this. And in fact, I started this pulling from the middle, got frustrated with that low contrast issue, frogged it, started pulling from the outside. But yeah, I haven't talked about this yarn yet. So, okay, let me say. Autumn Alpine sweater, Boylan Knitworks, Caitlin Hunter. If I didn't say that before, I am knitting the size 4. And then I'm using, this is Mad Hatter. So from Wonderland Yarns, this is the Mad Hatter Sport. This is the color Water Lily, and this is Bee's Knees, which is, I bought 3 skeins of it. That's all they had on local yarn shop day. So I hope it's enough to do the sweater in conjunction with this. I have another ball of this in case I do need to do some color management. I'm like about halfway through the color work on the yoke. So I think it'll be okay. But yeah, I just bought that second one just in case, and like worst case, it's a beautiful yarn, so I'll incorporate it into something else. But yeah, this has been a really fun project so far. I've been wanting to make it for a long time. Like I said, I really love the collar detail. It's like nothing I've ever done before or seen before. So that's really sweet. And it makes me, I'm getting like very excited for fall. So I had to start a fall sweater. I've also been like really trying my hardest to not start a stockinette project, because I've been craving just like a plain solid color stockinette project. But I'm like, you idiot, as soon as you finish the color work on this, it will become a stockinette project. So like a plain one color stockinette mindless project. So this will also be a road trip knit, and we'll see how far we get on that. I think all my other balls of yarn are wound, so that's good. But yeah, I'm like really enjoying knitting this one. This is like my meeting knit. And yeah, it's been great. I'm excited to have it. I really like the color. I think it goes really well with my hair, although the red is not staying a ton longer, but maybe I'll make it a goal to get this done before I go back to being blonde. So, I mean, it'll look good with that too, but I just really like the teals and the greens with the red hair. And yeah, that is my last, my last knitting whip. And I know that a lot of people break out like the knitting and sewing stuff, but it makes sense to my brain to do it all at once. So you saw works in progress. I have another work in progress, which if you could see the floor over here, which I strategically made it where you couldn't, you would see that there's pattern pieces everywhere. And that is because I am making the Pogo Nip pullover by Friday Pattern Company. So I'll go ahead and put this on because we're very close. I love sewing. I started this last night, and I worked on it a tiny bit this morning, and I just have to do the cuffs and the buttons, and that's it. But this pullover is some more acquisition fabric from Make a Resale. It's not perfect. This is wobble gauze. I bought it because it seemed fun. It's kind of expensive. Pretty bold of me to like make something without knowing anything about this fabric. There's some like funkiness about how it stretches and warps, like whatever. But this has been a really fun project. Oh, it's so cozy. It's like just cool enough this morning to wear it. So like I said, yeah, this is wobble gauze. It's like really fun. It's got 2 layers of gauze, and then inside is like these strands of thread, which has made it like very complicated to sew. Not very complicated. I'm just a novice sewer. I'll be honest. So it's like very thick. Like some of these areas were like very hard for my sewing machine to get through. But I'm so excited to have it soon. So this is the wobble gauze, and then the other fabric, I guess I can just take it off and show you. You'll see right there. That is a fabric from my great grandma. the lining fabric, it lines that and it lines the pockets. This is the first time I've done welt pockets. They're not perfect, but I love them. And yeah, oh my God, can you hear that plane? No way you can. Okay, yeah, we live several miles from a regional airport, but the few flights a day we do get are quite loud. So, yeah, this fabric is from Maker's Resale, like I said. The lining fabric is, I don't know what it is. It's like cottony, but it's like kind of thick. It doesn't feel just like quilting cotton, but it makes a really pretty lining. I like the combo. I kind of wish that there was like some sneaky lining up here or something that you could see it, because I really, really love the color combo. And so I tried to do like a contrasting thread. You can probably barely see that. Maybe you're watching it on a bigger screen. Maybe it's more visible. But yeah, I have been loving making this. I'm definitely like, it's not gonna be perfect. And I have some sweatshirt material I would love to remake it in. Once I see like the sizing and fit on this one, you can see it right here actually. Whoa, why am I backwards? This fabric right here is some like navy sweatshirt material. So it would be fun to make one of those, maybe like a good gift for somebody. I'm making the size 2XL, which is for like the 46-inch chest. And it's like very oversized in the chest, as you saw, because I'm still figuring that out. But it actually fits my like hips and stomach perfectly, with like enough ease that it's very comfortable. And once I add the waistband and stuff, I'm sure it'll like ride up a little bit. It probably won't sit straight on my hips, but yeah, it's been a great learning experience. I'm super excited about it, super happy to wear it. We'll be camping on our road trip, my dad and I will, so I'm hopeful that this will be done. I really just want to like finish the hällevik skirt and finish this and like not do anything else the rest of the day, but I do need to clean that I've been putting off for like 4 days now. So we'll see if this gets done today. If not, maybe tomorrow before I go to the airport. Who knows? But yeah, and then the other thing to finish this, besides the waistband and the arm cuffs, is the buttons. You can do like little, I don't know, what are they, like the snap buttons? But I already had these. I ordered them for a project I was knitting for a friend. And I just think they're so fun, and they're like just orangey enough that I think like it's a nod to the stuff underneath, and they're just so cute. They're little flowers. Are you kidding me? I love them. I got them on Etsy. If I can find the seller, I'll put them or put it in the caption. But yeah, they're so cute, and they were super affordable, and I have so many of them. I probably only use 5 for this, and then I have a shirt that needs some replacement buttons, and so I may use 3 for that. And I'm excited these are finally getting used, because I've had them for quite a few months. Yeah, obviously I'm very excited about it. I feel like I got the most animated about talking about this than anything else, but it's just because I spent hours working on it last night, and I sewed pockets for the first time, and I did a placard, I don't remember, whatever it's called, placket, for the first time. That's not like goes into like, I've made a dress shirt before, like a collared shirt, and that had one, but this is the first of this style, and I'm just so stoked. I'm so excited about it. So yeah, another thing that we'll hopefully finish up soon, and I think, looking around, this is the last of the whips. All right, let's talk acquisitions. I mentioned this yarn last time that that it was incoming. This is what I won from the from Rebecca Close giveaway, the Tulsa Time giveaway. It is Sandusky Lena, which I know I love. So, this is the color Spicy Orange. Oh, that's so good. It looks like a little bit more neon on camera, but that's probably more true to color. Yeah, that looks great. I'm so excited for this. She got me 8 skeins. I told her I knit like a Tulsa tee in a size 5. I don't know that I'll use it for a Tulsa. I've thought about doing like a little vest out of it. I've thought about just saving it like, I'll probably just save it and wait till next year and see what sort of like summer trends I'm interested in, and what patterns I want to do, because 8 skeins is like plenty. I used 7 skeins of, oh, you see that? That was cool. 7 skeins of drop spell with a, like, I was in the 7th skein when I cast this off, which is like, they're almost the exact same yarn. And I say almost because I can't discern the difference, but it's like same composition, same length, same amount, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I gotta decide what I want to do with it. I've thought about doing like a Winona dress in it, and I would need, I think, to hold these double, or just buy the tick Lena, the thicker Lena, in a different color altogether. But anyway, it's a good option. I'm very excited to have it. And I will see what kind of speaks to me about it, or what it speaks to me next year. I'm just gonna hold it up again because, oh my god, this color. It also like matches the button on, you can't see that. It matches the button, like the start and stop record button, on my camera so well, or my phone. Also the color number is 3819, in case that's important to anybody, the spicy orange. There's a lot of like Etsy resellers of Lena, and so they don't always have the color, they just have the number. So maybe 3819 will mean more to you. The other acquisitions I have 2 things in the mail right now, I think. But I'll talk about those in the next episode. I'll just say it's a hand-dyed and something that we decided on for the Dorney sweater, which is so exciting. And then other things are fabric. So we talked about this one, the Wobble Gauze for Makers Resale. And we talked about the linen viscose for Makers Resale. And I have one more. This is a cotton sateen. What I love is, like, I'll be honest, that Wobble Gauze, I bought a lot of it and it was like not cheap. It was like $80. But then this, I can't remember how much this is. It's like over a yard, but it's like 2 pieces of fabric sewn together in the middle, as you can see. It's like $12 or something. Like, it's a really nice cotton sateen fabric. It's beautiful. It's enough to make like a top, some shorts maybe, like lots of options here. And yeah, it was like super affordable. I've like really want to sew more, but I have such a hard time convincing myself to pay that much for fabric. I don't know why. I'll spend like $300 on yarn for a sweater, but then I'm like, ugh, $80 to make a dress? No way. But yeah, it's been a good way to dabble, and it doesn't make it, like, makes stuff not feel as precious to me. Even though like the finished item will be very precious to me, it just like makes it's priced such that I'm not afraid to use it, and I'm not afraid to buy it, most importantly. So yeah, I think that is all I have for acquisitions. There'll be more yarn next time if that's what you're into, but that's what I've got. All right, everybody, I've been talking for quite a while now here on the floor, and just want to close out by saying thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. Make sure to follow me on Instagram to stay tuned in to things in more real time, sort of like what I'm knitting, what's inspiring me, what I'm looking forward to. All that is over there. I'm so happy to be back with you after a pause, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next one.